What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Powered by Primus, and in today's video we're actually going to be throwing down some webcam games. Now this was my first try at this, so it is going to be a little bit differently than how you guys are going to see it in the future. I did figure out how to kind of move some stuff around, make things a little fancier when it does come to our future games. However, this is going to be our first one. The audio as well, with this being the first game, was just really quiet. No matter how much I try to really turn it up, it just came off really strange and sounds really far away, so I wanted to just commentate over this first one, and then I will have everything fixed for our future gameplay videos. Now today I'm going to be rocking a Jetfire aimless arcee deck. This deck was inspired by Matt Smith from Wizards of the Coast. When we were chatting, he was talking about this really cool interaction that you can do with Jetfire and some other fun stuff, so I really wanted to throw that down. So I just built a deck to kind of go around that same synergies. And then Wes across from me is going to be running a 3-wide Prime, obviously running Battlefield Legend. That's going to be the Energon Edition, Mirage, and Fireflight for the Brave. So turn one here, he did win the die roll and he is choosing to go first. He did flip Mirage over into alt mode, and then looks like he's going to be attacking in here. Now I know that he was debating on which character to kind of go into. He ends up realizing it pretty soon that Jetfire is going to be your main target for the majority of stuff. He's a ridiculously good character in this list, can get really out of hand really fast, so he is going into Jetfire. Gonna be flipping some pretty basics there on defense here, and then taking, it looks like, 2 points of damage. All right, looks like I'm debating if I want to pick up this tech research. I do run one tech research in the list just in case I need to be able to try to get all my shenanigans off either way. I was letting him go first because that's what you're supposed to do. And then I also do run escape route, so that's another card I might be possibly trying to get. It looks like I'm going to get rid of a superior plating to pick up that escape route. Now, superior plating is a phenomenal card in this list. Now, if you flip Jetfire over from his bot mode to his alt mode, you get to pick up an armor or utility from your scrap pile and put it onto Jetfire. You get around the rules of the superior cards by having to play tech research because it just makes you put them there. So really cool stuff to be able to get around, like I said, a lot of that good jazz. Wes is going to be just fixing his camera here up a little bit. I'm going to go for an improvised, oh, I'm sorry, not an improvised. I always mess that one up. That is going to be an inspiring leadership, which does allow me to draw 3 and scrap 2. Now, normally I'm not a big fan of the card ever since like Wave 1 or Wave 2, that I just think there's other ways of drawing. However, with this one, I want to get rid of a lot of those armors and utilities just so I can be able to pick them up with Jetfire again. So essentially it lets me see a little bit deeper and allows me to get rid of some of these cards. So I'm going to be getting rid of a marksmanship and an adaptive plating there, just to again help put those over there. And then I could choose to flip Jetfire here and be able to pick up quite a bit of different options. However, I'm going to be going for this kinetic converter first, which is really amazing in the list. Whenever you do transform, you do get to draw a card. So I'm going to transform Jetfire there. I do get to draw a card, and then now get to proc Jetfire's ability, and lets me get an upgrade for the turn for free without having to obviously play the upgrade. So really nice. And then obviously I'm going to throw aimless in here. Now, the really fun part about aimless in this list is that once you get aimless onto one of your other characters, since they both have inherent bold 1, you're always going to be able to proc aimless's ability. You don't have to worry about it on defense, or sorry, flipping your double blues always works. Wes did have a little bit of an issue here where he had a heroic resolve in there, but it's supposed to be another, I believe, security checkpoint. So he does go ahead and adjust that, and then we get to continue on here. Alrighty, getting back into the gameplay, I'm going to pass the turn over to Wes. Like I said, again, aimless is really amazing in the list. However, in these really blue matchups, it can be a little difficult for him to go down because he does have so much tough built in. But you guys are good to see what I get to do with the character if he doesn't get to go down. So Wes is going to be flipping Battlefield Legend here for the turn. He's got a lot of really good tech cards against me in this matchup that are just really good, just in general, and even better when they're paired up against me. This is going to be a good one, and that is Laser Cutlass. Now he's going to be able to throw Fireflight in here now for 2 Pierce 3. So if he happens to flip an orange, then he's going to be able to get access to that 3 Pierce 3. However, Fireflight is just 1 attack, so he's going to be able to go in here. Now I do like the damage going on to aimless. Again, I really want aimless to try to go down in those situations, so it's really nice for him to be able to take that damage and do get put down a little bit. And then it looks like I am going to be getting rid of another marksmanship to pick up another escape route. Marksmanships are better for the late game. The early game, you're really trying to set up a lot of your upgrades, so trying to like do additional damage early on is just a little slow, as much as it sounds like it. You really want to see those cards kind of more to that mid to late game once you do get set up. So I'm going to draw for the turn, debate on what I want to do here. Now, Escape Route is a really good card for this situation, as I could do a double flip on Jetfire, but I'm going to flip for the turn naturally, which does allow me to draw 1 card because of that converter. Now, the really awesome part about that is it really puts my opponent in a bad spot because now I have the ability to be able to just flip Jetfire back and get whatever I want. Going for another Inspiring Leadership, allowing me to draw 3, scrap 2, probably getting rid of some more stuff, some targets I want, or double blues. And it looks like I'm going to do one of each. That is one thing that's really nice, is a lot of times you sit there with those double blues in your hand and it doesn't really work out too well. So that Inspiring Leadership allows you to drop those, which is really nice. Going for an Adaptive Plating here onto Arcee, and then we are going to be attacking back into his Brave character because obviously Brave. Now, I don't run any other ways of getting Pierce in the list other than you guys do see one there, and that is Superior Jetpack. That card is ridiculously good. Pierce 4 from these characters is pretty solid on a regular basis. He flips an insane amount of double blues. Like I said, I think I was getting in there for 4, and I think he ended up like blocking like 8. Yeah, it looks like he is blocking 8, so ridiculously good defense, and then he does chuck a double blue to be able to pick up his escape route. Now, what that does tell me is that he's got 4 or 5 double blue battle icons already in the scrap pile, so he's going to not really have as much for defense in the future. So it is one thing just to double check. Obviously, make sure you guys always watch when you do see those go by. There's only a limited amount of them in the deck, so... All right, Wes is going to be drawing for the turn, see what he does get to do. Battlefield Legend is a monster to go up against. He is just such a good character, always a really good character. And then you do get that really fancy art if you do go for the Energon edition on that one. Looks like he is pondering his turn here, pretty deep in the tank, obviously trying to just figure out what's the best route, trying to go in here, making sure, because he does have to attack with Prime, and if he does go into Arcee, I do get a pretty, good amount of defense. Just from that adaptive plating, I run, I think, like 11 white battle icons on the deck, so I usually have a pretty good chance of being able to proc it. So even if I were to flip a couple of double blues after that, we're still probably looking at about 4 to 5 defense, which is a really solid amount. And then obviously if we get doubles, then we can kind of keep going from there. He's going to go for an escape route, allowing him to flip to alt mode, which does allow him to go pick up an action from his scrap pile, put it into his hand. It looks like he's going for War of Attrition. Obviously, really, really good card, especially in this matchup when we get to that really late part of the game. He's going to be able to get some pretty nice repairs and deal some there. Going to flip Battlefield Prime back to bot mode and play Matrix of Leadership on him. Now, he is a leader, so obviously he's going to give +1 to the rest of the team. And then going to be swinging in here. It looks like he is debating, obviously, who he does want to go into. You either go into aimless here, or you try to go into, like I said, Arcee. However, Arcee can still block for a pretty good amount, so even if he does go into Arcee, either way, I'm not really losing out here. Let's see who his target is indeed fact. So I know here he was asking me about adaptive plating, on how that works, and I was just making sure that he could see it a little bit better on the screen, and it does say when I flip white, obviously get 2 defense. So he's going to be going into Arcee. I'm going to let him flip. This was pretty funny because it was swerve, hidden fortification, swerve, hidden fortification. So pretty interesting as far as your flips go there. I think he does choose to go for the hidden fortification, which is a pretty solid call. Just to be able to obviously pick up the tough 3 if he needs it, because I am getting him with Jetfire next turn. However, the swerve isn't a bad play, but I am attacking next turn into his Brave character, and I'm pretty sure I pointed that out to him. So the swerve would actually do nothing for him, so he might as well just get the Brave. Might as well just get the tough 3. So he's going to do his damage. I think he's getting in for 9. I flip really well here, so you guys get to see that. So I think that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on defense, which is pretty insane. 7 from the flips because of that adaptive plating, and then 1 from basic. So really, really good defense. It's the one thing I like about adaptive plating in this list. Like I said, I run those a lot of white battle icons. You're flipping additionals, plus they're turning into defense. It's a lot of defense. Making sure we just go through the sequencing here. I'm going to go ahead and draw. The one thing that we kept noticing about a lot of the webcams is that they kept pulsating to try to focus in when your hands were on screen, so we try to just keep our hands off screen just as best as possible. Going in for an Energon Axe. Now, this is actually, I think, where I believe I make a misplay. Pretty sure I make a misplay here, but we do go for an Energon Axe onto Jetfire, obviously to be able to push a little more of that damage, so now we're getting in for 7. Pretty solid amounts. And then going for the Quartermaster, which does allow me to move. So I move over my armor because, again, you won't have to do the check, and then I flip to be able to pick up another one onto my character. Now, this, like I said, I think is a misplay just because we're going into his Brave character. The tough is kind of relevant. However, I think instead of playing the Quartermaster, I should have flipped for the turn and picked up the Superior Jetpack and gone in for Pierce 6 to be able to kind of really butter up that Fireflight to be able to finish it off possibly next turn. However, just making sure I just have a lot of this defense here, and what this does is it kind of puts Wes in an interesting spot with the reset. Both of my characters do have access to tough 4, on either side, and then aimless for tough 3 in the middle. So there's an insane amount of tough, not really good targets. However, we do get to see there's that laser cutlass there, so the pierce is going to be kind of irrelevant against my tough anyway. So get in here for a pretty basic amount of damage, and he flips pretty crazy, and I think he just ends up taking the pierce 2. Yep, looks like we're doing the math, and looks like he's just taking the pierce 2 off of the energon axe. Now, again, I don't think it would have been a whole lot different. We just would have put a lot more damage onto that character. However, with reset, he totally, Wes might have totally gone into my arcee at that point, putting her in a really bad spot. So like I said, it's just going to kind of depend on what sequencing really happens in the future. But it definitely could have been a misplay to not put a lot of that pierce damage onto the Brave character, since I have to deal with that character first. Going for the restand here, making sure we pick up any of those green battle icons or any of that stuff. So yeah, you guys can see the screen kind of pulsating there. So I had to just put my hand on there just to get that little bit of focus back in. It is going to be Wes's turn. Going to have to straighten all of his characters. And then does get to draw for the turn. Got to make sure everything looks pretty. Now, I will tell you, it was really interesting playing online. It definitely is not quite the same as playing in person, but I will tell you, it does feel pretty good. You still get the feeling of flipping all the cards, your transformers, and still getting to chat. It does get to be a lot of fun. So this is definitely something that we're going to be doing going forward, obviously, until stores open and all that good jazz. So we are going to be able to do a lot more gameplay on the channel again. It just took a little bit to make sure we figured this all out. We could record all that good jazz. He's going to be flipping Optimus Prime there into the other mode to pick up another war for attrition. Now, I do believe that gave him all 3 wars in his hand. I'm pretty sure I remember watching him pick one up earlier, and then he did get 2 off of Prime flips. So I'm pretty sure that at this point he does have all 3 sitting in his hand. Playing another laser cutlass onto Mirage. Now, Mirage being a 7-star character, the guy is insane. He is actually a ridiculously good 7-star character. I'm a huge fan of him. Being able to put that laser cutlass on there makes a huge difference as well. So now I think he's getting in for 5 Pierce 3. Playing a secret action, which is going to turn on tough if he does decide to swing in here with Mirage. All right, so it looks like that is going to be his choice of swinging in here with Mirage. I'm pretty sure he's going to be going into Jetfire in this situation. Again, he just knows that Jetfire is the one that's got to take a lot of damage. So we're going to be able to go ahead and flip here, and you guys can see I get to flip 4 and then 2 for the white. We get a lot of defense on these characters. So it looks like I'm just going to be taking the Pierce 2 there. I'm sorry, it was Pierce 3. Yeah, he did flip a... No, he didn't. No, he did not flip. So I took 2. Took 2 there. Sorry. All right, sorry, I took 3 because it's Pierce 3. That's why we have 5. Trying to figure out my math. We got it all. We got it all. Alrighty, and I'm going to go ahead and I think I already drew transforming, which does allow me to draw an additional card. And then now I'm allowed to like kind of look at things and see where we're at. I know we're going to be throwing aimless in here as our character, just because we want, you know, the Firefly to go next. Going to go for another inspiring leadership for us to draw 3 cards. I'm pretty sure I scrap a couple of force fields here. Nope, looks like I'm scrapping a double blue. Again, trying to get those double blues just out of our hand. And another superior plating. This is just to make sure that if he does happen to remove one of mine, I just have enough targets in the scrap to be able to get. Going for an energon axe onto aimless, which is going to allow me to get in now for that pierce. So now we're getting in for, that is going to be 6 pierce 2. Going into his Mirage. I do get hit with these sabotage armaments here, so I do lose the axe. I was pretty sure it was going to be the sabotage or the tough 3. Either way, even with the swerve, because swerve is one card he runs in the list that's really good, so I was just really trying to push the damage there. I didn't really need the axe in hand anyway, so just try to swing Ricky in for a basic of 3. Obviously, he's going to block all of it on defense, so he's not going to take any damage. And then I'm going to most likely be picking up this tech research here. So I'm going to be getting rid of an escape route to pick up that tech research. Now, again, it's just really in there, so if I happen to naturally draw those superior platings and those superior jetpacks, I can actually still play them versus always trying to only sneak them out via Jetfire. Not to mention, if late game Jetfire does go down, I really need access to being able to play those cards from another source anyway. So again, I do just run one just in case I need to get to it. Now I'm going to pass the turn back to Wes here. He's going to get rid of his secret action, draw for his turn, and then most likely throwing in this Fireflight in here, again, which is going to be able to get in there for Pierce 3. Now we did miss the Pierce 1 from that Mirage swing there because of the Matrix, but I think we do catch it here in just a second, and I do add the additional damage. Here we're showing off damage tokens. Wes did just get some from Wreck and Rule, so those are the ones that you're going to see on his screen. I do have some that we have being printed for ours. They look really, really nice, but like I said, I was just kind of trying to show one off here. However, I'll be doing a big reveal for a lot of them. We have them in a lot of different colors and some other really fun things, so I'll eventually be showing you guys all of that stuff. Wes is going to be flipping Prime over into his bot mode. I know he's not going to be swinging with him here, but what he's doing is preparing him for next turn if he does happen to need to flip him into alt mode to pick up another action. The really benefit for me is when that is happening, he is losing essentially an additional action and 2 damage just because he's going to the other mode. However, just playing that Noble Blasters does pick up that additional 2. So now he's getting in for a lot of damage if he does choose to swing with that Battlefield Legend. It's a base of 11, and then he does obviously get to play the free action when he does swing. So pretty insane. It looks like he's going to be attacking in here with Fireflight. Going to be going into my aimless. We're going to flip for defensive here, and I think this is where we catch the Matrix of Leadership damage from previous. Yep. So that is where I think we did the math. We did pick it up. I'm trying to figure out all the different numbers. I know obviously I'm not taking any damage other than the Pierce that he is dishing out because of all the direct damage. Although we should be taking at least 1 or 2 more here actually. So maybe we missed it for a couple of triggers. All right, so I'm going to be drawing for my turn. Yeah, I'm going to guess that we missed it for a couple of procs there. A lot tougher to see when you're staring at a screen, I will admit. Definitely got to be far more vocal as well when you're trying to do these webcam games because, you know, obviously the visibility is very low, all that good jazz. So I'm going to be going through my scrap pile here. I was looking to see how many more of these superior jetpacks that were in my scrap pile to try to pick one of those up. It looks like this is where I'm going to be correcting it. I'm going to be able to draw one off of the kinetic converter first and then go pick up one, which is really awesome. Now, Jetfire's ability is a must. It is not an option. It doesn't say you may, which is how it gets around the superiors. If the superiors were mays, then you would still have to be able to play tech research. However, because it is a demanded ability, then you do get around them. So we do have to flip over there. We're going to pick up that jetpack. Now we're getting in for, I think that is 8 Pierce 6, which is a ridiculously solid amount. So it's going to be more than enough here to take down this Fireflight. I think I'm debating on one of the escape routes in my hand to see if I want to set up or if I want to go for a secret action. I'm pretty sure I put down a sabotage armaments here because I was really worried about this Prime getting in next turn. And then obviously since Jetfire got me a free upgrade, I'm going to play one, and that is going to give me the Crushing Treads. Now this is, I think, where we do remember the Matrix damage. So yep, I did add 1 Matrix damage, so we were 1 off from the previous swing. However, that does allow me to break that card, and then now I do have the secret action to break his weapon next turn. So if he does choose to flip to pick up an upgrade, he's getting in for pretty basic damage. And then we are obviously going to crack in here, and this is going to be enough to take down Fireflight. Alrighty, just finishing the rest of our flips here. I have to shuffle to get the last of my cards out, just making sure we go through all the motions. So that's going to get rid of the Fireflight there, which is really nice, just because that Pierce is a little annoying. Plus, the Brave is really bad as well. Having to swing yet again into that character would have been just a little bad. So I did want to make sure I got that character off the table there, not to mention trying to set up as best as possible to try to take as little damage as possible from this Battlefield Legend coming in here, because obviously it's Battlefield Legend, and he has the ability to do an insane amount of damage out of nowhere. So Wes is going to be going for a secret action himself. It looks like, oh, nope, looks like he's going to be taking that secret action back. Just pondering what he's going to do here. Obviously, this deck runs a lot of action, so there's definitely a lot of choices here with this Mirage. So it looks like he's going to be going with a heavy-handed here, which is ridiculously good. And obviously, since he does have more stars than Jetfire, he can attack here with Jetfire. Now I am going to use Sabotage Armaments to break that Noble's Blaster, so he is getting in for 10 still. Pierce 4, which is going to be really relevant. The Pierce 4 is going to definitely be the more painful of them. He's going to be flipping his 4 cards here, and it looks like he's looking at a Swerve, Escape Route, or a Brainstorm to be able to do some more stuff with. Now, if you guys don't know anything about Battlefield Legend, obviously after the character swings, then you can play an action, which is what you have to do. Make sure you go through the correct steps. When Battlefield Legend swings, you have to let your opponent finish their flipping before you get into yours. Now, I'm not worried too much here about damage, really. It's more about just taking that Pierce 4, that he is going to be pushing through here. So I'm probably just going to be taking the Pierce 4. So I did just take that Pierce 4, which is very unfortunate. It's a lot of damage to put on that Jetfire. And then I know that he does have a Swerve face down. So if I do get to attack into either of these characters, they're going to be able to get that Swerve ability, which is a ridiculously good secret action for this list. Either he can flip Mirage and get cards off the top of his deck, or he can get another action from his scrap pile with Battlefield Legend, not to mention picking up one more defense or one more armor with Battlefield Legends. So pretty solid stuff. And then I do have to swing in here, and then he does get the crack back at the reset of turn. So that is a pretty scary stuff, because I'm pretty sure that he's going to probably going for another heavy-handed, since he's seen how much exact damage that he can get with that. And then I believe I would survive another Pierce 4. However, a couple of points after that, and Jetfire is going to be hitting the bucket. So I'm going to have to try to close this game out as best as possible. So I'm going to be flipping Jetfire here. Now what this is just going to allow me to do is to just set up for the next turn if I have to. If he has a way to remove something, there's entirely a possibility that he flips he flips Prime here, because I am going to be going into Prime if he does want to go pick up like a Vaporizer or something like that. Now, I could choose to have not gone into the Battlefield Legend here, and I could have chose to go into the Mirage, which would have been totally fine. However, I didn't want him to get the draw and all that good jazz off of that, and then next turn just to be able to flip Prime and do kind of the same thing. So we're just trying to push as much damage as we can here on this Prime, most likely not getting in for too many points, if any, actually. I don't think we're going to be getting in for any damage. And then going for the reset here. Now, this is definitely one thing that I found about this list that I'm just a little bit interested in, is trying to find a way to force my opponent into aimless. I know that I'm going to be putting in some hiding spots, which is going to give some of my characters stealth to force more into aimless. I'm also really considering on putting in... Sorry, I was just seeing what was going on there. Putting in the utility that does give Brave to tapped characters and putting that in the list as well. Just being able to open up Pierce and then to force people into aimless, what I think is going to be really, really nice for this list. Wes is going to be drawn here for his turn, pondering kind of what he wants to do. I do have a secret action down there. I do not remember what I have down. I think I end up playing a hidden fortification in case he does end up getting rid of my superior plating. That way I still at least have tough 3 if he does choose to swing into Jetfire here. Now it also could be a sabotage armaments, again, just to really try to break that laser cutlass. Again, I just don't remember. I didn't get to see what I did put down there. Wes is going to be going through his scrap pile again, which would probably tell me here he's either looking to see what he can possibly get off of a Prime swing, or if he does have an escape route in his hand and he's looking to do a double flip and then to be able to pick up something via that as well. All right, it looks like he is going with a heavy-handed onto the Prime. Now, if he does happen to swing here and does reveal another heavy-handed, that is going to be the end of my Jetfire. So let's hope that he does happen to miss here. A little bit of lag, latency, I don't know, static, whatever you want to call that, right? Playing over the internet. So getting in here, looks like he did flip a bigger they are, which is going to give him access to +2 more. Luckily, not at any of that Pierce, so he is getting in for 12. I do believe I'm going to be able to survive here. Looks like I'll probably just be taking that Pierce 4 again, which is going to put me back, put me up to 13 damage. Again, the amount of defense that you can flip in this deck is absolutely insane. I truly love it. So yeah, taking that Pierce 4 there is going to put us up to that 13. And then I did not happen to break anything with the Sabotage, so it looks like I did play Sabotage just in case he did choose to swing with Mirage there. So that did obviously whiff, but it worked out. I ended up drawing a card here, so it looks like I'm holding Tech Research, and it looks like I'm holding another Jetpack, I believe. The other really cool interaction that you can do in this game is play Quartermaster, and then to be able to move one of those superiors over and then flip Jetfire and pick up another one for himself. So really fun stuff that you can do in this list. Same thing with really with aimless. Like aimless in this list can be pretty dangerous if you don't really deal with him. Just because if you put like a superior Jetpack on him, then he's just getting in for, you know, potentially 4 Pierce 4. He does swing naturally for 3. Looks like we're going to be going for a not improvised shield. Inspiring Leadership, just to draw 3. It looks like we're going to be scrapping a Force Field and another Force Field. So because we obviously already have superior platings, you don't really need the Force Field. So become easy cards just to chuck there. We're going to be flipping arcee here, and now what this does is it essentially just sets up if this aimless does go down. I can choose to put it onto arcee. Arcee does have bold 1 and tough 1 as long as she does have a weapon equipped. So really awesome stuff. You get to put aimless onto arcee there, and then that does give you the ability to be able to flip 3 natural blues to be able to proc aimless's ability. So really good with that character as well. Going to be swinging in with the aimless, obviously not getting in for any amount of damage. However, it's just to force my opponent to have to go in there. Now we do only have 3 health left on this aimless, and this Mirage is getting in for at least Pierce 3, so this is going to send this aimless packing, which is really nice actually that the Sabotage did not break it, because I do want aimless to go down here. Now, the other benefit about this is that Battlefield Legend is tapped, so when this Mirage does get to swing, I do get 2 pretty solid hits into this Battlefield Legend, so I'm obviously going to be putting the aimless over. No, I'm not going to be getting him with Jetfire at all. So that is a sturdy Javelin. Once it does say that it is scrapped from a ranged character, when it attacks you do 2 damage to an enemy, and Jetfire only has 2 health left, so that is going to be sending my Jetfire packing. I would imagine he's not going to be putting that at any other character, so he's going to be swinging here. Looks like he is going to be shooting that, and that is going to be taking down my Jetfire. Sad panda. We're going to be able to push probably quite a bit of damage, maybe even be able to like finish off that Battlefield Legend there with that sequencing. So he's going to be attacking here into the aimless, and this looks like aimless might be able to still go down. We flipped pretty basic here. Looks like we're still going to be able to survive with our aimless. Really unfortunate. And it looks like I'm just moving my characters around here, trying to make sure it looks as good as possible on the webcams, obviously. Drawing for the turn. So now we're still getting in here for at least Pierce 1, so if we can manage to put down an Energon Axe, or we can figure out some other way of getting some more damage, we'll be able to, you know, load up this arcee pretty well here. She also still does have the superior plating, so I'm not in any really worry about it. Going for a secret action, obviously couldn't see what it was there. I'm going to guess it was probably hidden fortification, just trying to make sure I set up all that good tough. So it looks like he did flip a hidden fortification, so we're going to be pushing and then most likely just flipping, getting in for Pierce 1 because of that crushing size. We are still getting Pierce 1 off of that card. So he's going to be flipping a million cards on his side, and it looks like he is going to be getting just that Pierce 1. I did go into Battlefield Legend just for the Pierce. Obviously, he's the main target. I do have to get that character kind of off the table. Mirage is a little bit of annoying, but obviously Battlefield Legend is going to be our big problem. So it looks like he's going to be picking up a Bashing Shield here for Swerve. I really hope I did put down a hidden fortification there. It's probably one of the reasons why I would hope that I did if it was, you know, an option in my hand, obviously, just because there are lots of ways for Prime to be able to get stuff back. He also does run Disarm in his deck. I know that I've seen it get flipped throughout the game. So obviously a Disarm would be very unfortunate as well. So I'm just moving my damage counters a little higher so he can make sure that he sees my health on the characters. Obviously, you don't want to put your dice on top of their health because then your opponent just doesn't see. He's going to be flipping his Prime for the turn, going to pick up. I'm going to guess he's either going for a Disarm here or a heavy-handed again. Just an easy way for him to get in a lot of Pierce. Or obviously, like I said, the disarm is able to wreck me pretty hard because it does get to put those superiors back into my hand. I get to lose all the momentum with them. But that is, again, why I play Tech Research, just so I can play him. So he's going to be able to pick up a Brainstorm. I mean, he already has the gas in his hand, which is kind of scary. So let's see here. We're going to be going for a Brainstorm. What he's going to play off those. So the first one there's going to be the disarm, so that is going to remove all of my upgrades from arcee, and then going to be going for a security checkpoint. So a ridiculously solid combo. What that does, obviously, puts all the upgrades from the character on into your hand, and then security checkpoint obviously gets rid of all of them. So I'm going to lose both of my superiors there, my crushing size, and then I believe that is a handheld blaster that are all going to go to the bin. So we're going to lose those. Really unfortunate. So again, let's really hope I put down a hidden fortification there, because arcee is probably going to be getting hit here. He's not going to be swinging the Prime, obviously, because he did flip Prime to alt mode. So even if he does get in here with Mirage, we're going to flip pretty well and be okay, probably not taking any damage unless Pierce comes in somehow. However, Wes has yet to play an upgrade, so there's definitely the potential that he has an upgrade. I know he was considering on flipping Mirage there. Obviously, we talked about he already flipped Prime for the turn, so going to be pondering his attacks here. I would imagine he's going into, yeah, so it is a hidden fortification, and is going into arcee, just because obviously there's no point in him going into aimless. You really don't want to give me that character at this point, just because that ability is going to be really nice. So flipping a million on defense, so obviously, like I said, not taking any damage. And then going to be sending it back to my turn. Now, what this is really going to do is this is for sure going to shut the door, hopefully, on my aimless, right? I get this aimless in here, and then Prime is going to be coming back into aimless. So we're going to go for a marksmanship here, since I know aimless is going to be going down next turn, and arcee is not a ranged character. So we're going to be doing 2 damage to an enemy in bot mode. Unfortunately, I have to throw it at that Mirage just because he's the only character in bot mode. And then attacking in here with aimless into Prime, probably pushing 0 damage. However, he did show a War of Attrition here. Let's see if he does pick it up. He's been going back and forth on playing those cards for other greens and picking them up. So probably just waiting for, obviously, for there to be the last character, and then to obviously be able to clean up his own damage while then putting the last bit on probably my arcee. So let's see what is going to happen here. Now, again, he does have to attack into the aimless, so it's going to at least hopefully give me the chance to be able to attack with arcee with at least the weapon on her. I know that I was checking there on both sides of the character to see if she was ranged in either mode, and she is not. Again, the reason why I did play that marksmanship the turn that I did, and then I did have a second copy in my hand that we are going to be losing when it does come to after this aimless going down. Now, this is how we were cutting. Is we were just kind of fanning through the deck, and when the opponent said stop, he just put that on the bottom. However, I trust Wes, so I didn't bother letting him cut, or we just didn't bother cutting the rest of the game. So if you don't see that, that's why. So he is going to be attacking here. I'm just going to pre-shuffle just to make sure that I obviously have my stuff left, just because I only have 2 cards left on top of my deck. So I'm just going to pre-shuffle. He did go for the Ion Blaster there of Optimus Prime, giving him +2 attack and 1 defense. So now he's getting in here for a base of 10. Again, really punching that aimless, but he's got to kind of go that route. So I'm just going to set up my top 2. Again, you have to let Battlefield Legend flip all of his cards first. I think this is where he only flips 2, and then I did try to tell him that we did have, we needed to flip 2 more. We didn't see it after that, which is totally fine. Like I said, again, we're just kind of going down here with our aimless. He's just revealing that Pierce 4, which is more than enough to be able to get the job done. So we're just going through the math because I think I just wanted to see how much I ended up blocking for. And I think I would have ended up blocking the majority of it and actually surviving. But obviously that Pierce 4 is enough to take me down. So putting that weapon onto arcee is really nice here. Again, we have to kind of go into Prime. Know what he does have the ability to do is flip next turn and pick up and disarm. So it's just a ridiculously good counter to this deck, really. And then Battlefield Legend, obviously, being able to always go get it is just, you know, it's a little unfair for us. But going to be swinging in here. Obviously, you guys are going to be able to see here, even without that bold, we're going to be able to hit that proc really nice. So aimless does get to go off. So we're going to be doing that 3 damage directly to Prime. And then I think we're getting in here for 8 damage, which is really solid amount. If you were even going up against something like even like in a blue list, still getting in for a few points. But then if you're going up against something like an orange list, then you're getting in for pretty solid damage. Now he flipped pretty bad there on defense because there was an orange, so I think he's taking 4 damage. So we end up getting in for 7 damage there on that swing, which is really, really nice. And then again, if our Jetfire would have been able to swing in earlier, that would have been it on that Prime. But you know, that's the way the world works. So So he's going to be able to pick up this bashing shield, which is really unfortunate that he just happened to flip that. Looks like he's not going for it, so I'm pretty much going to put him on the disarm play. He could have been able to grab it there. However, disarming me also makes sure that I lose the aimless weapon as well. So all he has to do here is flip Prime, like I said, pick up that disarm, and then kind of throw Mirage at me. It looks like he's going to allow it for the turn. It looks like he's going for a secret action. It might be a sabotage armaments himself, and then maybe that's why he doesn't really worry about it too much. So he is going to attack in here with Barrage, most likely getting in for no damage. I'm just going to be flipping all my stuff. Wow, we flipped really bad there. Look at that, 4 whites, 5 whites. That's pretty bad. So I still think that we're going to only take a point. Yeah, we only take a point of damage because of the swerve that he did flip, so that Pierce 1 does get through. Going to be drawn for my turn. Now, there's not a way to be able to really protect myself here. Now, I do have a disarm, I believe, myself in my hand. However, I can't disarm myself to protect that aimless weapon. It does kind of go away, so it's unfortunate I kind of have to deal with it. So we're going to play our own sabotage armaments. I believe that's what it is, to be able to get rid of that ion and try to really survive for the turn. So that is going to be a sabotage that does get rid of my aimless. So we're just going to put that somewhere else. And then we're going to be attacking in here for, I believe, just 5. So obviously probably not getting in any damage. Oh, looks like we might actually get a couple points in. Yeah, look at that. Looks like we got in for 2 points of damage, so pretty good. All right, so West's going to go for the turn, drawing, and then, like I said, he didn't pick up that bashing shield. There's a chance that he has a vaporize here to be able to get rid of my armor, so it looks like he is going to flip, and he's going to probably be going back here. Looks like he's picking up War of Attrition, so this is the turn that he's going to War of Attrition me, and then he's probably going to triple War, and then what it's going to be able to do is to be able to repair 3 from Prime, and then I'm going to deal 3. Looks like he is, yep, then going to crack in. He is getting in for 8 on going into here. We're probably not going to be taking any damage unless there's any Pierce still coming through. Again, man, this deck just flips so many on defense. I mean, we have tough 7, so we're probably not getting any. Yep. So it looks like we're just going through it. I'm just doing the math, and it looks like we're not taking any, even with him flipping that orange there. We're just, yep, we're not taking any. I mean, we have defense, what, that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So yeah, quite a bit of defense there. All right, we get to straighten up here. Now, this is the turn that I really want to get a Quartermaster and try to finish off the Prime. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull that off. He just has a lot of health still left on him. That War of Attrition was really nice for him. So playing that Inspiring Leadership means that we're not going to be going for that this turn. However, I'm just going to draw 3, kind of scrap 2, getting rid of that Marksmanship and that Escape Route since they serve me 0 purpose. And then we're just going to be swinging in here. So I didn't get to see anything. Maybe I was really trying to dig for an Energon Axe. Didn't get to see an Axe. And it looks like we're obviously going to be trying to really keep poking Prime. But I think I do go here into Mirage since Prime has a built-in 4 defense. And we're swinging in for 5. So we're still going to just try to push a few onto Mirage here. And it looks like we did get in for 2 on Mirage. And then we're going to be shipping it back to Wes, who does get double attacks on me this turn. So this is going to be a pretty brutal turn. I really need this armor to kind of stick around, so we're going to see what does happen. If I get to keep the armor, I think we might be in a decent space. However, if we lose it, we're definitely going to probably be losing the game. He's going to be going for a secret action here and then a Sturdy Javelin. Sturdy Javelin is going to mean that Mirage gets in for at least 2 points of damage, which is a pretty good amount. I think that leaves me with 4 health remaining, and then that is going to leave that up to that Prime. If he does happen to see anything like a heavy-handed, then we're going to find ourselves in a pretty bad boat. I did flip a lot of double blues there, which is kind of unfortunate because I didn't need them for the Mirage hit. I needed them for the Prime hit, and don't get to see what I did pick up there. I think the only green battle icon in this deck is going to be those tech researches. So he's going to swing in here with Prime, and it looks like he did not see an action, which is really, really nice for me. However, he's in for 8, 9, 10, 11. Blocking pretty solid, and I think that still gets in. Yep, so it's enough to be able to get the job done and take me down. Alrighty, getting into game number 2 here. I did choose to go first, only because I just want to make sure that Jetfire doesn't get hit at all in the early game. One thing he can definitely do because he deals way more than I do is flip Battlefield Legend and kind of just send him into Jetfire right off the bat. So I'm going to flip arcee here, just get arcee ready in case I happen to see an Energon Axe, something like that. And then I can just kind of get in for aimless, and then aimless is going to obviously swing in here into Fireflight, most likely pushing 0 damage. But we're obviously getting in for 3. Now, Firefly is a built-in 2, and then did flip a blue there, so he does have 3 as well. And then seeing a Bashing Shield off the start, really unfortunate for me. That Bashing Shield is just really nice, obviously, to be able to pick up, get rid of my superiors. Looks like that is going to be the play, unless he goes for... All right, looks like he's going to pick up the Bashing Shield. I think that's the right play. Nope, had a little bit of a pop-up there. It's going to be flipping Mirage for the turn and sending in Fireflight. Going to be attacking in here. Oh, looks like getting in for 1 Pierce 1. Pretty solid from Fireflight, which is, again, though, it's putting 1 damage on my aimless, so I'm pretty happy. So we're obviously going to flip pretty well when it comes to defense for aimless, just because he has built-in tough 3. So just going to always kind of flipping really nice. And then flipping 2 wars here. It's going to be a little unfortunate for West, because obviously you want to see all of those separately. However, you're only allowed to pick up 1 green battle icon. So it looks like he's going to let them go. I do believe he ends up picking one up. And it looks like he is debating about picking up one. All right, so he's going to be getting rid of a Bravery to pick up one of those cards. Bravery, oh, so good. Again, something I'm going to definitely be putting in this list to be able to make sure that aimless is the target for most of the swings. Point position is going to be the blue-black Bravery card while tapped. The one that I'm going to be pondering on putting in here just for at least the Pierce 1. Going to be playing that Inspiring Leadership here to allow us to draw 3 and scrap 2, getting rid of a handheld and most likely a Superior Plating. Those are usually the cards that I'm really okay with scrapping because I want to be able to pick one up here with a Jetfire. Let's see what the other card I'm going to be choosing is. My hand was obviously pretty good, so going in with an Escape Route as the other card that I'm going to be scrapping. So I either didn't have a Superior Plating there. Yeah, it looks like I'm looking for one. I do see a Superior Jetpack there on screen, so most likely should probably be picking that up to really start to push some of this Pierce. And then if I do happen to have something really nice like a Quartermaster, I can move it over, which is what the ideal goal is. So I'm going to be flipping Jetfire here, and it looks like I'm going to be picking up that Jetpack. Oh, I do have a Superior Plating in there as well. So it looks like I am just going to choose to go for the Pierce. I know that I need to really kind of push damage as fast as possible against these characters. I really can't find myself kind of sitting there playing the long game because Battlefield Legend just wins that kind of race. And then attacking in here with Arcee, getting in for the 5 that she does come with, and then flipping 4. So it looks like I'm going to be taking 1 damage. Or was that 5 as well? Oh, that was 5 as well. That was 5 as well. So it does have built-in 2, so yeah. So that's going to be 5 as well. All right, so Wes is going to be going here, drawing for his turn. All right, so Wes is going to be playing a Noble's Blaster for the turn, putting that onto Mirage, just allowing him to get +2. So it's going to be flipping Mirage there to see what off the top of the deck, so that he does get to draw 2 cards. He gets to reveal the top if it's a blue, draw 2, and if not, just draw the 1. So obviously, because the Handheld Blaster was a revealed card, he gets to draw 2. I like the fact that he had to draw that just because then that puts a double blue into his hand versus when it comes to him flipping on defense. However, it does give him more fodder for stuff like War of Attrition. So we'll see if he ends up picking any of those up the rest of the game, just because I don't think he ended up grabbing any from that first sequencing. Going to be playing a Secret Action for the turn, and then probably swinging in here with Mirage. Now, it's one thing he doesn't have to worry about too much against Milas is that the tough isn't relevant as much, so I'm flipping that to be able to draw is pretty nice. Getting in here for, I believe that is 5 Pierce 1. So yeah, it was 5 Pierce 1, and then looks like he got into my Arcee. Arcee's going to take 2 damage there, and then we're going to kind of see that same play I was talking about there, getting rid of that Handheld Blaster to pick up that War of Attrition. Going to ship the turn back to me. Going to be drawn for the turn. Going to see kind of what we're going for here. Obviously, we're going to be attacking in here and putting Pierce 4 down onto that Firefly. Going to be playing a Secret Action because I'm going to guess that he's going to be flipping Prime and sending Prime into my Jetfire. And then playing a Force Field onto Arcee just in case he does decide to try to go into Arcee. Then she is going to have that protection with the Force Field. Going to flip Jetfire for the turn because I really want to try to set up next turn being able to pick up a Superior Plating. And then you guys did just get to see one there. Or maybe I even have the chance where I have a Quartermaster in my hand and I can do some Quartermaster shenanigans. I'm going to be attacking in here 4 Pierce 4. So pretty solid amount. Exact damage and exact Pierce. So it looks like Wes was just making sure, doing a little bit of the math here, taking those 4 points. No secret action. I'm going to guess it was probably sabotage or something like that. Yeah, so it was sabotage armaments just to make sure that I didn't happen to throw any shenanigans at him. However, the only weapon I think I have in the deck is Energon Axe and Aimless. So with Jetfire not being damaged, I just don't really have a way of playing it as much as I would really love to. So Wes getting to go here, and this, like I said, he gets a big Battlefield Legend turn. He has quite the juicy targets. I believe I ended up putting down a hidden fortification just to be able to give tough 3 to Jetfire. It could have also been a sabotage armaments, but my guess is it's going to be that hidden fort. He's going to be attacking in here, and that heavy hand is going to automatically give him Pierce 4. So yeah, hidden fortification is going to be able to give me a little more Pierce. However, he's getting in for at least Pierce 5 to show off. Now, he does get to play any of those cards, and it looks like he's going to most likely be playing, I think we talked about it, I think he does play the bigger they are, because there's no point in him, again, playing Swerve, since I do have to attack into Fireflight. So I think I just pointed it out for him, so he does choose to play the bigger they are. So he's getting in for 8, 10, 12, 14, so really, really good amount. So it looks like we're taking 9 damage there. So, he got in for a lot of damage there. Yeah, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, 14 damage. So we took a lot of damage there onto our Jetfire, which is really unfortunate because it's going to put Jetfire just in a really bad spot, just because obviously we want to be trying to take as little damage as possible. Now we're going to be resetting for the turn. And then we are going to be drawing. I do believe that I do have a Quartermaster here. We just have to wait for Wes to kind of stand up his characters. Boom, he's in the process of it. All right, I do believe, like I said, I do have a Quartermaster. I do go for a Quartermaster play. And then, yep, so we're going to be going and playing Quartermaster. I'm going to move that Superior Jetpack over to Aimless, who's going to now be able to get in for 3 Pierce 3 and finish off that Fireflight. And then I'm also going to have to not worry about that character being there, being able to swing back, and then me having to waste another attack into it. So this is going to put Wes on a little bit of a weird situation. Then I'm going to flip Jetfire to be able to pick up another Superior. Then I was going to be able to have another Pierce 4. So just a really good amount, and then because I didn't play an upgrade for the turn, I am going to be going for that Crushing Size, and that is going to allow me to draw one because he does not have a utility, so pretty good, and then that does give me just a little additional Pierce when it does come to arcee over there. So we're going to swing in here for this Pierce damage. Flipping double blues there, which is kind of unfortunate for my swing. Like I said, I really want to see those on defense. However, we go through our deck pretty quick, so we're pretty fine. Moving all of my cards over, and then it looks like we're just going to be going through the motions here. Get it off the table. All right, so Wes doesn't have any greens to be able to go through, so he's going to kind of push those off to the side here, and then I'm going to be shipping the turn back to him. Now, this does allow him to do some pretty good stuff as far as when it comes to being able to kind of set up here, just because he can flip Battlefield Legend and pick up something that he wants and then send in Mirage. However, the good part is that with this sequencing, I should be able to avoid Battlefield Legend going into Jetfire for a round, because he does have to swing with one character here, and then I get to throw arcee, and then Battlefield Legend has to go back after that. So hopefully I get to kind of keep that same little momentum going there. Wes is obviously looking through a scrap pile to see what he wants to pick up for any actions if he does want to flip Battlefield Legend here. Like I said, I think it would be a good play to be able to flip him here since he's probably not going to be swinging him here anyway. So if you can just get some card advantage here, might as well go for it. Disarm would be a pretty decent card to be able to use. You could disarm arcee, pretty solid amount, especially if Prime does have to swing back into her on the next attack for him. Be able to disarm her for me to move, lose my force field there would be a little unfortunate. He could also go get heavy-handed, so with reset, looks like he's going to pick up War of Attrition, which means he does have probably the lot of them, which is totally fine right now. I have Aimless out, so it's an easy target for me to be able to put those damage counters on if he does choose to play that. However, he also doesn't have any damage, so obviously he's not going to be playing those cards anytime soon. So he's going to be swinging in here into Aimless, and it looks like he's going to be getting in for probably, he does have Pierce 2 off of that Noble's Blaster, so he's going to be getting in for probably Pierce 2 here. I am seeing a tech research that did flip down, which is pretty nice here. I might want to pick that up after combat just because of if there is a disarm that does come out at some point on either Jetfire or Aimless. I want to be able to try to replay one of those jetpacks. So it looks like we're going to be taking that Pierce 2, and I'm going to debate here if I want to do pick up this tech research. It looks like I'm going to let it go. Probably bad on my part. I probably have to have a pretty good hand for me to let those go, just because, like I said, I'm really worried about being able to get hit with disarms and all that. So, all right. Getting into my turn here, I'm obviously going to be throwing in this arcee. Going to be playing that Energon Axe, really nice. Now that does give me Pierce 3, and then I'm going to be going for a security checkpoint. Now I don't have anything here really for my opponent to hit. My goal was to try to just, try to get rid of any of those, any unnecessary upgrades that he had, and also to kind of see what he did have. Looks like he did have a sturdy javelin. That is what took me down game 1, so nice to be able to get rid of that. And then it looks like I just have an escape route and an inspiring leadership. So yeah, I probably should have picked up that tech research. None of those cards are really going to do too well for me. I probably should have also flipped Jetfire that turn. However, we did not. We're kind of getting in here. We're probably going to be hitting for just the Pierce 3, but we are getting in for, I believe that is 8 off of arcee. He's flipping, looks like 5, so he's taking 3. Either way, taking 3 either off of the Pierce 3 or off of just the basic 3. Not seeing any green cards that he wants. Yep, taking that 3 damage and then shipping the turn back. Now, I did see a disarm in his hand that turn, which is why, again, I probably should have really picked up that tech research. I should have also flipped Jetfire that previous turn to be able to set up if I wanted to be able to flip him again next turn to pick up a superior plating or something like that. So a little bit of a play mistake on my part, but I think it should still totally be okay. Now, he could choose to disarm Jetfire to remove that Pierce 4. However, I think it'd be pretty bad for him to be able to do. I also do have escape route, so I guess I could technically double flip with Jetfire if I need to. But we did see that disarm, so he's most likely going to be flipping Prime here, playing disarm onto arcee, and then kind of crushing arcee as best he wants. So he was asking me there if I want to let him cut. I'm going to say no. All right, so he's going to go to flip Prime here. Contemplating on what he indeed fact wants to do. Now, Prime is getting in for a basic of 10, so it could be pretty solid amount. So I think we might be seeing the wars here. All right, so he's going to play the Brainstorm, going for a secret action, and then going to be doing the triple war, so not going for the disarm. Really interesting play. I'm going to be able to just put the 3 here on aimless. I think he ends up backtracking on this. Yeah, so it looks like he does choose to take it all back. I remember us talking about it for quite a bit of a second there, but yeah, it definitely was a not needed play just because it's an easy 3 damage for me to put onto aimless. So he is going to be going for a disarm here, and then the secret action. So that disarm is going to really wreck the arcee, like I said I was talking about. Swing it in here. I think this is also where he only flips 2 cards when he should flip 4. Yeah. So swing it in here for 8. I'm sorry, 10, and then I think I flipped pretty bad here, so we flipped pretty decent, actually. So I think that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, so I think we're taking 3. Oh, nope, we took a lot more than that. So we're taking 6. I thought that other top card was a double blue, but I guess it was not. So yeah, taking quite a bit of damage there, taking in 6, which is, I mean, it's only technically 2 more than what we would have with the force field on there. However, I would have really liked to have been able to keep that 2 additional health there. I think it's going to be pretty relevant coming into the late game here. And it looks like I am debating on what I want to do. Now, this could be a turn where, like I said, I do go for an escape route to be able to double flip Jetfire here, and I get to pick up that superior plating. However, next turn, he's in a pretty good spot where he is able to just transform Prime, pick up disarm, and kind of repeat his process. Like I said, that 1 disarm in his list is really, really good. It's a ridiculously good counter for what I'm going for in this list. However, we are going to be able to get in here for 4 Pierce 4, so this is a pretty solid amount. And then obviously we're going to have to start kind of just dwindling down Prime here and just trying to do as much damage as we can to him. Now, we do still have an upgrade for the turn, so we are going to be going for that crushing size to try to draw a card. I wanted just to try to see a few more cards before possible. I really didn't need to play the force field there at that point because I don't think he's going to reset and go into arcee. I think we're going to reset and he's going to crash in with Prime into Jetfire. So we are going to be attacking in here, so he's going to be flipping all the cards. Sabotage, obviously not hitting any weapons of mine, which is why I did not play the Energon Axe for the turn, because I did see that Sabotage get played, and then the tough 3 is going to be irrelevant as well, technically, since I am getting in for this 4 Pierce 4. Now, him seeing that bashing shield there is actually pretty nice as well, just because he's going to be able to now go with Prime into Jetfire without me having tough 4 armor. So that could be really brutal if he does choose to pick that up. We're going to see if he does go for it. We're going to kind of get the reset here. So it looks like I did go into Mirage for that Pierce 4. Really interested as to why I did that. I guess it's probably just to help, get that character off the table, and then I can try to win the long game with having 2 different characters swinging into Prime, especially since Aimless does have tough 4 and I am holding that axe. It's at least 6 that I guess we are pushing into the Prime there. However, if I would have hit that Pierce 4 there, I could probably finish off Prime via Aimless, so it was probably a bad play to go into Mirage here, but I guess that what I was probably thinking was that this forces Prime to swing here. He could choose to swing with Mirage, however, he's not going to be getting any big relevant damage, and then he's also going to have to just get KO'd back by the Aimless, so maybe that was kind of my play. Alright, so it looks like he is going to flip, he is going to pick up Disarm, and let's see who he's going to swing in here with. Alright, so it looks like he is going to play the Disarm, which is going to disarm Jetfire, and then he's most likely going to be swinging in here into Jetfire. So that is going to be getting in for base 8 on this Jetfire. So really good stuff. Like I said, him being able to get those disarms are just critical. Alright, flipping pretty well for defense, though. So I think he's getting in for, he's getting in for 9. I think it's going to put us at 13 if I did the math right. Yep, so it's going to put us at 13 again, so luckily we do get to survive there. We're in the exact same boat we were at in Game 1, being at exactly 13, so it does let us survive, which is really, really nice, because now what we get to do is send Aimless in here for hopefully Pierce 4 onto the Battlefield Legend. Can be going for Inspiring Leadership. I think what I should be doing here is probably playing an Energon Axe onto Aimless, and then sending an Aimless for, 6 Pierce 6? So let's see what I do choose to go with. All right, scrap in a couple of cards that we just don't need. Going to be flipping a Jetfire for the turn to get him prepared for being able to pick one of those cards. All right, so going with an Armed Hovercraft, which is going to do, I guess, roughly the same. It's going to do 1 less damage to Prime. However, it's going to do 1 over to Mirage. So doing 1 damage to each of those characters. Now this does open the door for that 4 Pierce 4. So I'm probably just holding on to that Energon Axe to be able to get in for more damage with Jetfire here. And like I said, what that's going to do is just let me put 1 more onto the Mirage here. Swing it in. Like I said, you guys get to see I have Disarm as well. It doesn't really serve me as much of a purpose in this list just because he doesn't really hold as many things. Getting in here for 4 Pierce 4 because the Armed Hovercraft does turn on that last bit. So putting that 4 damage onto Prime, he does 5 there. Oh, that's right, because obviously 1 from the Armed Hovercraft. Come on, we got this. All right. So now Mirage is going to have to kind of swing in here, which is going to have to go into Aimless, which is in a really, really nice spot for me, just because then we're going to be able to get, again, 2 attacks back into Prime. I am holding that Energon Axe, so what I'm probably going to do is play the Axe onto Arcee. That's going to get her in for Pierce 3, and then I can flip Jetfire and get in for Pierce 4. It's going to be 7, almost being enough to be able to finish off Prime. So we might even possibly be putting the Axe and the other part on there to be able to get in for, I think it's about same Pierce damage across the board. However, Arcee does get in for 5 basically by herself, so the 8 might be more relevant on her. We'll figure that out here in just a second. Wes is contemplating his turn, what he does indeed fact want to set up and go for. We know he does have those War of Attritions in hand. Again, not really so good to play now. It's not bad to be able to play. It's going to probably make sure that his Prime does get to survive for the turn. And I wouldn't be able to get through that much Pierce damage in it. And then also that would put more damage onto Aimless. And then if he can swing here with that Pierce 2, that would finish off my Aimless. Which I'd still be okay with. I want to put that on there anyway. Looks like he is not going to be flipping Prime for the turn. He's going to be flipping Mirage for the turn. Maybe trying to set up a secret action here then. All right, so going for that secret action means no War of Attritions here. It's gonna be pretty nice. Like I said, it could have been a little bit weird if he would have played him. Wouldn't have been bad. Wouldn't have been good. It also would have given me access to another weapon. Oh, all right. We're having a replay of game 1 here. So Mirage attacking in here and then sending my Jetfire pack. And that's the second game in a row that he was able to get to exactly 13 and then do exactly Sturdy Javelin to be able to finish me off. So props to Wes for that. Good play. Getting in here, most likely not pushing it out. Sorry, he's going to be getting in Pierce 1 because he did flip that swerve. Turns out that swerve has been doing a lot of work for him on these attack sequences. It's going to be getting in for Pierce 1. Now, the good part is that this does leave my aimless still around, right? We do have Pierce 4 there. However, I would really want to not take that 1 damage there because now that means that Prime can get in for a heavy-handed and be able to exactly finish off aimless. I really wanted to kind of keep at that 5 mark, so I was kind of free of that. But we'll see how things end up going down. I'm going to be shipping it back to my turn here. Now, this is probably where I'm going to be playing most likely an Energon Axe because I know we still have it in our hand. We should at least still have it in our hand. Yeah, so we're going to be playing the Energon Axe here. I'm going to be attacking in. I'm going to be going for a marksmanship, and we're just going to be able to get 2 damage on. And this is going to be able to finish off this Mirage here since he is at 10. And we're going to be able to get in for these last Pierce points when it comes to arcee since we have Pierce 3. And I believe Mirage does have 13 health. So this is going to be able to get the job done unless this is a... Whew. All right. Unless that would have been a Sabotage Armaments. Now, this does allow him to draw. He did happen to reveal and draw the heavy-handed, so really, really good job for him. Because, again, that is going to be able to allow him to finish off this aimless pretty much whenever he does want to pull the trigger on it. Now, like I said, this is going to be able to take down his Mirage, and then going to go for the reset. Just cleaning up all of our cards there. All right, so let me know what you guys think about these webcam games. Like I said, I will have audio in the future one, so let me know what you guys do think about them. Obviously, it's a way for me to be able to still play, and then I'll be able to play with a lot more people now, other than Team Primus members, because there are others, obviously, who do have webcams, so you guys are going to be seeing some guest appearances for gameplay as far as webcam stuff as well, so we're going to have some pretty fun things. All right, so it looks like I was just showing what upgrades I do have there because we know that he is holding the disarm. So this is going to be a pretty easy way for him to be able to clean up this arcee, is to do something like Matrix, flip for turn, play disarm, and then kind of crush my arcee. Since we are at 8 and we only have 4 health to remain, this is going to pretty much be the final blow, so to speak. All right, so it looks like he's going to choose to not go in that. I mean, he might be able to just be able to take her down through, normal attacks. Oh, all right. Well, heavy-handed is going to be more than enough to be able to get the job done. So flipping really well there. I mean, he's also getting it for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that would have been enough to take her down anyway. But the Pierce 4 is going to be able to do enough as it is. All right, so we are pretty much just going through the lash motions of the game. There's definitely nothing I can do. I know he's holding another heavy-handed, so there's nothing I'll be able to do. I have to be able to manage to pull out 9 Pierce with aimless here, and seeing as how we're in for 4 Pierce 4, there's not a whole lot that we're going to be able to do to just find essentially 5 damage because we have 4 on board. Even if we were to go, we'd have to go like Brainstorm Double Marksman and then play the weapon for turn. So again, we saw that he had that disarm. So I mean, either way, we're pretty dead here. So we're getting in here for 4 Pierce 4. Like I said, just finishing the motions out. Gonna put that Prime up to 9, which even if we would have hit for the 4 earlier, we wouldn't have been able to finish. However, the marksmanship might have been able to be enough to get it done. So I don't know. I mean, heavy-handed, I guess, would still allow for Mirage to get in. No, they're both 7-star, so there you go. It could have been a completely different game had we had sent the Pierce 4 and waited on that marksmanship to go into Prime. Prime would not be around, and then, hey, we might have had a game 3. So just goes to show, pay a little bit more attention. Try to, focus on those characters that you really need to. It may seem really easy at the time to take down a character. However, you just have to kind of pray sometimes, and the term essentially is play to your outs, and you want to say, well, the only way that I win is if I take down Prime, so I should have just been sending everything into Prime and then hoping that we make it to it. So he's going to flip Prime for the turn, so I guess he already played the heavy-handed, that's right, against arcee. So we're going to be able to see this other heavy-handed come back, and then this is going to be sending the game over in my, sorry, not in my favor, in Wes's favor 2-0. So I really hope you guys did enjoy this gameplay. Like I said, let me know down in the comment section below if you guys do enjoy it. And if you guys have any suggestions for it, I'd be really, really interested. We are going to start playing Wave 5 stuff. We are going to wait for at least the street date of the original, which is going to be the 17th. So you guys are going to see some Wave 5 stuff coming out as well. I hope you guys did enjoy this game, and I will catch you guys in the next one.